This is afternoon programming with L. Oh man, I never know how to start these things, but I mean, hey, that's just who I am as a person, and you gotta accept me sometimes. But anyway, hey everybody, welcome to episode 8 of afternoon programming. It's a different little setup today. I'm actually going for something different, but this afternoon programming. Thanks to everybody who's listening. Make sure you're following the podcast on Instagram at afternoon programming. Today, I have a very special guest, a longtime friend, amazing soul, amazing person, just amazing in general. I have the lovely Cidnee Rich here.
Hi, Elle. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I receive all of that. I appreciate it, and back at you.
Thank you. I
Very
appreciate
much
it.
So I like you. You know, I don't like a lot of people.
I know. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here just because, like, this is funny because at first when I started this podcast, it was really just like me to me. I was more so just doing this as like allowing me to get these thoughts out that I have on a regular day, you know, or on a daily basis. Because I have like, what's my partner call it? She like my Gemini moon. No, Gemini rising. Or no.
I think it's your rising.
Rising, okay. So
it's not your moon because that's Virgo. We just talked about that. Oh,
gotcha. Exactly. Obviously, I don't know nothing about that. But I'm very playful and I have all these silly thoughts, or I just play with a lot of thoughts all day. And sometimes I like to ask questions just because I can.
That's fair. Yes, no, that's definitely your Gemini rising for sure.
Exactly. But I don't want to talk too much about me. I actually want to talk to you about you because I think it'd be dope for people to, one, because you're an amazing, would you say tarot reader? I don't know if there's what's like a specific name or.
Yeah, no, a reader. Yeah. I don't know that either. Right. It's such a weird thing to like categorize yourself, but yeah, I read tarot. I do lots of things though.
You read
because
tarot?
You know what? I have Gemini in my 10th house, which is my career house.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that
So
means,
just like you were just saying about being playful and wanting to know different things and do different things, it's kind of the same concept when it comes to myself and careers.
Oh, okay. That's so interesting because I'm like, half of it's going over my head and some of it I'm like, okay, I understand some of that. So it's a lot of information. I mean, you know more about it and my partner knows about it. P knows more. And so I actually want to hit some few questions because like we've been known each other for like a while.
Yeah,
some years.
like at least, what was that? It's got to be 2015 or maybe 2016.
Something like that, I think.
Yeah. So did I meet you the first year at A3C?
I think that's where I met you. I think I know specifically where I met you. It was at, there used to be these socials, I guess, or mixers.
Yeah, A3C socials.
Yeah. And I remember you were part of it. And I remember specifically running into you, meeting you, because I think I had my camera on me and you were real cool. And then I also met Nicole. Shout out to Nicole.
Yes, a bestie.
And like, ever since then, we just like, we worked together and like just did a bunch of stuff. And man, like, been friends since then. Yeah.
So it must have been 2016 because that's when I was in charge of the social clubs.
Wow. That's crazy. You're originally from Atlanta?
I am. So I always say I'm from Atlanta because I am. But if you get specific, I'm from Ackworth, Georgia, which is is like 45 minutes north of Atlanta. And so my family now lives in Marietta. A lot of people know Marietta. Yeah. So now like I'll usually just be like Marietta because that's where my family lives now. But yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I'm from Georgia.
Okay. Dope. Well, for those who don't know, I wanted to ask you because I'm always interested because we work together a lot on your videos that you do for Arcana ATL. Shout out.
Yes.
Make sure you follow. It's arcana.atl.
It sure is.
On Instagram. Make sure y'all follow and book a reading with Cidnee. She's amazing. I wanted to ask you, because I don't know if I know specifically, or maybe I've just forgot. Apologize if I'm forgetful. But how did, what was there certain events that kind of led you down the path of going towards tarot?
Well, I guess when I finished college, I was just, getting educated. You start to broaden your horizons and your thoughts and your philosophies and your belief systems. So when I was finishing college or kind of like in the midst of college, I just was breaking down my beliefs. Like, why do I believe what I believe? And so I started that questioning.
Yeah.
And then from there, it was just kind of like a spiritual journey that I started. And one day, I don't know why, I don't know how, but I just got led to tarot and bought my first deck at like a Barnes and Nobles just randomly.
Yeah.
And from that was 8 years ago. Gotcha. So I think I got, however long 8 years ago was, 2014.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was when I first, it would be 2014 when I first got my first deck.
Okay.
But I've always been like a witchy, weird person in the inside, internally, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things about tarot. It's like kind of like what you said about this show. Like it's for you to express who you are, maybe what you don't necessarily share to everybody. Yeah. And so tarot in like that world has always been me, but I didn't express it because I felt like a weirdo. Oh, you know what I mean? Like I felt like people would think I was weird or creepy or whatever, and they wouldn't understand. So, but I've always been attracted to spirituality, tarot, magic, all of that stuff. Yeah. So
it's always just piqued your interest, and so you've always been there. And
always. I was a little witch when I was a little kid. Didn't know what I was doing, but I'm like, I'm gonna pick this flower and get this, and I'm just gonna,
No,
so yeah,
definitely. So when since you've always been into it, like before you actually like launched Arcana, were you always kind of, I kind of relate this, it makes me think of my partner P, who like the way she got into human design was she kind of was doing it for fun a lot, for friends and things like that. And then eventually decided, I think one day to be like, well, let me do this because people want it, Yeah. Is that how it happened for you?
Exactly. Literally. And I think that's the best way. That is your purpose.
Yeah.
Because you just want to do it.
Exactly.
And so that same thing. So I would just like I worked at MAC Cosmetics, and I would just bring my cards to work, and then my coworkers would be like, will you give me a reading? So I'd like do their readings on breaks and stuff.
Yeah.
So that, and then my friends, of course, I would do readings for them.
Yeah.
And so from there, I would just do it like that. Of course, I would do readings for myself. And eventually I was like, well, really the pandemic is what caused me to create a business around it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely. Because why not? You enjoy doing it. Why not just be like, let's just do it and try
exactly.
it. It's fun. You're not forcing yourself to
not
do it.
Not at all. And I had like a prophetic dream about it as well. But
oh, really?
Yeah.
Would you want to share like the dream?
Yeah, no, it was the end of 2019, and it was a really rough year for me career wise because I was feeling very out of alignment. What I was doing, I thought was the job I had, I loved once upon a time. And I thought this is what I was going to do for forever.
Yeah.
And it switched up entirely, the energy around it, and I was lost in the sauce. So I was really depressed in 2019. I hated life. Oh my God, I really was just not feeling it. It was the worst.
Yeah.
So with that type of energy, when you're in that space, it's kind of like the dark night of the soul. And when you talk about like spiritual awakening, you're in this space where you're just like, everything is just dark and you're just lost.
Yeah.
And so after the end of the festival season, which is usually like October, I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew that I could not go back to that space in that capacity because I was unhappy.
Yeah.
So I had a dream end of November, and literally my spirit guide came and visited me in my old childhood home.
Whoa.
Which is weird as well because my house, the home I grew up in, burned down.
Oh, wow.
So it's even more like, oh, wow, like haven't been here in a while, So from that dream, I just remember like asking all these questions and getting answers. And then when I woke up, it was just really clear that I was supposed to be following tarot. Like that was what I was supposed to be doing or focusing on. Yeah. And then that's where my focus shift and
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
That's so interesting because like, It's crazy. Like, it always fascinates me when like people, we have those moments like that, right? Where we kind of like, this is it. Like, we just know it's like, it's in our soul or whatever. It's in our brain. You just like, and it's crazy. It's like, that's a connection. Cause, to like sidetrack, like I had this random idea or like thought in my head recently where I'm always fascinated by the things people are connected to. Mm-hmm. And I always wonder if like, are they connected to these things from, experience or their life of what they've done? Like, I'll give an example. Like, I remember one day I was at the gym and I was working out and I was listening to music, and then randomly, have you heard Donda, the album?
I've heard it.
Okay. Do you know, I don't know if you remember the song. There's a song called 24. Okay. And it's a very gospel sounding song. Mm-hmm. And sometimes gospel music sounds very powerful and it sounds very like, right. It's very preachy and stuff. And so I remember listening to that song and I remember being like, wow, this is crazy. And I felt like connected to it. I was at the gym and I almost felt like I wanted to cry listening to it. Mm-hmm, and it's crazy. And I was like, now, am I feeling connected to that because of my experiences, or am I connected to it because I just connect with it? You know what I mean? Because I grew up in Arkansas in the South, around a lot of friends who were in Baptist churches, and they played like gospel music and stuff. And so, but to me, I just connected with it. And so like, it's funny how, or not funny, it's interesting to me how like you're connected to tarot, but like for me, I'm like, I don't, I can only imagine what that connection feels like, something to the music. And so it's real interesting how people are just pulled to these things, kind of like their past or whatever.
No, I love that. No, because what you're talking about basically is something resonating. And so when something resonates, it's just like an energy or whatever. It's just like a connection that you feel to it. Yeah. And you can't really explain it, but it's not really to be explained. Yeah. It's to be felt. And so, you can't really explain a feeling genuinely, right? Because it's a feeling.
Exactly.
And so I think a lot of times we try to intellectualize our feelings, and then that can get confusing. Yeah. So when it comes to like just something resonating, you just kind of feel it. And exactly. And like, I think that at the end of, like, at the core of something resonating is just kind of like you said, your soul. Like your soul just vibes with it. Yeah. And so with tarot and that whole world, it just like feels like I'm supposed to be doing it. Yeah.
That makes so much sense, because I remember like another thing is with careers, like I still am to this day, where I kind of always have my hands in a lot of different things. I do a lot of things. Right. And it's so funny. Ditto. Exactly. So you yourself know, like, I remember I used to kind of feel bad about being like that when I was growing up, because back in the day, they would always say, focus on one thing and do that one thing. Right. And then master that one thing and you'll be good at that one thing. But then I never understood that. It never made sense to me. Right. Like, well, I like doing a lot of things. Exactly. And then I would feel bad sometimes, but I think now times are changing to where people are like, no, it's okay to do all these different things. Right. And so... And some people, they don't have that pool, and that's fine. Exactly. But like, going back to what we were saying at the beginning, you having that Gemini rising, me having Gemini in my 10th house, it really does reflect that in us as individuals. Yeah. Whereas other people may not have that type of influence in their person. So they don't mind just doing one thing. Yeah. Exactly. But I do think, to your point, that society is more accepting of it now instead of trying to force you, because it works for us. Yeah. Right. Like, that's the thing. Like, I know when, like, sometimes my friends will say, like, that works for me. Yeah. Right. Like, it's like, it just makes sense. Like, of course, Cidnee is doing this, and this, right? Like, it's just who I am. Yeah. So. No, exactly. Which I wanted to, it's so interesting because, like, one thing that I really like about you is that your love for Halloween. You love like, when did that start? Well, they're one and the same, right? Oh, yeah, tarot. During the witchy, spooky. Like, exactly. Yeah. So I remember, like, my mom, I remember dressing up for Halloween when I was like 1. Like, I have a picture of me as a 1-year-old dressed up for Halloween. What were you dressed up as? It's remember? The funniest picture because I'm like, what am I? Like, I have like this white wig on and like this orange top. So maybe I'm like a Flintstone or something. Like, I don't know. I'm going to have to ask my mom, but. That's hilarious. So to be honest, I think my mom slick liked Halloween. Wow. So she kind of just slid that in there. Yeah. But like, now my mom
doesn't give a crap about any holiday like that, especially on Halloween. Yeah. So I don't know how or why, but I'm thankful. Yeah, she wants to know that like I was gonna be into it. She does have a Scorpio moon though, so that could be it. But yeah, so I just remember always dressing up for Halloween, and then it was always a thing that I enjoyed because I got to like be this character. Yeah, and so I always like I can remember pretty much all of my like Halloween costumes because it's a thing. Like so I couldn't. Cool. I was a repeat offender too.
Repeat offender?
Yeah, like I was. There was this one called Spiderella.
Spiderella.
It's literally just kind of like a cloak and just kind of like a witchy kind of outfit. Yeah. But it was like a spider woman. You know?
Oh wow.
I was her a couple times, but yeah, I just always have loved Halloween, like that part of like dressing up, and then the whole thing, trick or treating, like it was just so fun, and it was something that like I would always do with my friends and my neighborhood because I lived, like I said, like in the country. Suburbs. It's like a country suburb, right? Yeah. So it's like we had so many kids in the neighborhood and how it was just fun. Like because all the kids were out and then all of us were around the same age and there were tons of us. So it was like very active and it was like a thing. So yeah. And then as I get older, it's just fun. Like who doesn't want to just have a holiday that doesn't really like it has significance definitely if you like get into it and like if you look at it from like a pagan point of view, but it's also just about having fun and like connecting with like just that idea of just magic. And like anything is possible. It's like such a cool day. It's fun.
No, I get it. Are you into like the haunted houses, the scary movies?
You know what's hilarious? What? Like being scared. I'm like, I don't like, okay, I had to grow into liking scary movies.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Because, well, that's a lie. I think that like now I realize I really do like it, but I always liked it. Like, because I'm the youngest of 6 kids and my siblings, they were in the Halloween too. And I remember I got, they scared the hell out of me as a toddler with a Freddy Krueger mask on my bear in my crib.
Wow.
So I guess, I've always been into like that. Cause like, I had the older siblings that would scare the shit out of me. And then they would watch like scary movies like Freddy Krueger and Jason and It and all that. And I would always like sneak into the living room and like watch it. Leprechaun, like all that stuff. So I just think always it just was something, and it has a lot to do with my family. Like if I think about it, like what they were doing and how that influenced me, and then I just kind of took it and ran. Yeah. But haunted houses,
you can't do it. I can't do it either. I don't blame you.
I'm not. That doesn't get me going because I'm like, you're trying to scare me.
Exactly.
And I will punch you.
I think I remember in Arkansas growing up, they would have like haunted houses, like regular, but then they would have those like, we're trying to really scare the hell out of you.
Right.
And so I remember like in Arkansas, I'm pretty sure here in Georgia too, but Arkansas, they had like this 20 floors of horror. And like, as you paid like $100 to get in.
What?
But if you made it to the top and you made it out, you got your money back.
Oh my God.
And so like, but like it was just, it's like they were really trying to scare you and make it look real. Right. Which is really wild to me. And so I don't know if they did that here in Georgia or anything.
There is one like that, but I haven't been to that one. But whichever one, when I was little, it kind of like scarred me for life.
Oh, really?
It was like over here, like off, like by the Galleria Mall. And I don't know what it was, but I just remember getting to this one part and the floor got mushy.
Oh, wow.
And I was trying to like run, but the floor was like mushy and I ended up falling and this person came with a chainsaw and was like in my face.
Oh my Lord.
And I can just remember that right now. And I was just like screaming at the top of my lungs.
That's hilarious.
Oh my God. So that was kind of like when I was like, haunted houses.
You're like, I'm done.
Save it. But like, I'll hella go to like Universal Studios. I've never been.
Yeah,
for like,
me either, yeah.
I want to go so bad.
They have, because they have that, Universal Studios, and I know Six Flags does something like that too.
So I'll like do Six Flags. Six Flags is fun too.
Yeah.
Like, so that type of thing when it's like open and everything's kind of scary, that's fun. But like specifically going into a haunted house, no.
No, I get that. And it's funny because I think growing up, I used to watch a lot of scary movies too. And like, it's so funny because I had like aunts and uncles who would actually purposely put them on to scare me and play these jokes and stuff.
See, maybe it was just like a thing.
Maybe. And like, but I remember growing up watching, you know, like you said, Leprechaun, Chucky, Freddy Krueger, Jason, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes.
And, you know, when I look back, I'm like, damn, they let me watch this as a kid sometimes. You're like, what the hell? But like now, like actually, I do enjoy that adrenaline rush of like being scared. One of my favorite things to do ever is like, you remember Paranormal Activity?
Yeah.
So when like the first one came out, going to a theater with other people experiencing that sort of like shock and scariness. Yeah. And like everybody yelling in unison or something. Yes. Oh, like I love that.
It is fun.
It is so
I love the movies. I love the movies for that reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love the collective vibe.
All of us sharing the experience. I remember one time we went to watch, what is it? I think it was called The Visitors or something, where it's like a M. Night Shyamalan movie about these kids going to their grandparents' house. Yeah, and like, but then there's a twist in there where you find out that the people that the grandparents are with actually aren't their grandparents.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And I remember that reveal when it happened, everybody was like, like that. Yeah. It's so funny. I was like, yeah, this is crazy. We're all experiencing this together.
Yes. No, I remember what is it? Hereditary was probably the last one where there was like an audible like in the theater.
I remember like I didn't know going into that movie what it was like about. I was like, what's this? Yeah. And then I did my research on the director, and he's done some like crazy, like you're like, what the hell is going through your head that you make these movies? Right. And like I remember being there, and like at the end when all the crazy shit's happening, I was like, what the fuck is going on right now? This is weird.
Right. And then, but really that little, the what is it? The pole. Yeah. The telephone pole.
Oh my, that shock. Yes. Oh my God. I remember what you're talking about. I didn't even know that was happening. When it happened, I remember being shocked so like bad. I was like, wait, this is happening? I was like, what?
Literally shocking. But yeah, that emotional like roller coaster. Yes. Yeah, it is fun.
It is so much fun. It made me think, do you have like a favorite scary movie or
Hell
franchise?
Yeah. Okay, so Michael Myers is my fave. Okay. But the Rob Zombie Halloween is my favorite one. So that one came out, I think, like maybe 2009. Yeah. That one's dope because it goes back into like the child, like him as a person. Oh, okay. And so you get into like his psyche more and you realize like he really has this like mental problem. It's like more like of a person, like a personal story. Yeah. That one's great. And so there's like 3, I think, attached to Rob Zombie in that line. I love those. I like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Classic. Yes. Yeah. I also love... I guess I would probably say, because Freddy, I mean, I love him because he's Freddy and he's hilarious and he's such an asshole. For kicks and giggles, I mean, the original one is great. Nightmare on Elm Street, the original Friday the 13th, like all of those, like I watch them every year. Like I cannot wait for them to start to be playing.
I know, just be on TV.
I watch I'll just have them on. Yeah. Like I've seen everything. And then, but my favorite Freddy Krueger is the newest one. Oh, okay. Yeah. That one's good. It's good and scary. And then Scream. Oh, yeah. For like an updated Scream, that franchise is great. Even like the last one that came out, Scream 4. Yeah. So good. Scary, like classic, but like, cause you know, scary movies are like comedies and scary, like if they're a good one. Exactly. I think in that sense. Or you can have like a legitimate scary movie. You know, you have like the different type of genres, right? Yeah, exactly. Like you have that 80s vibe, which is like 80s. That campy like Freddy Krueger, Jason.
Funny little lines here and there to ease on the scariness.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have like scary movies like Hereditary or like I really got scared with The Strangers.
Is that the people with the bags over their
head?
Yeah. Okay. I never saw that one, and I got scared.
That is a very scary movie.
Wasn't that based on a true story?
Like, very well could have been. Like, it's not. God. And that's the thing. Like, that is a scary movie because it's one of those movies where, because, you know, you watch and you're like, do this, go there. Yeah. What are you doing? But like everything you would have done, they did.
Wow.
And it was just like
they couldn't do anything. Yeah. Wow. That's really scary.
That's why it's scary.
Yeah,
like,
okay. You're like,
I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Yeah. That's probably the most recent that I'm like, oh, that movie scares me.
Oh yeah. I think the most recent probably was The Hereditary. I wanted to see Midsommar.
Oh, that's a good one. I
haven't seen it.
It's not scary.
Yeah.
It's gruesome.
I just remember hearing one thing that I was like, these people are wild, which my partner said that she liked. It's the part where I think I might be saying this wrong, where they all cry together or something like that. And I was like, y'all are really crazy. Like a girl started crying and they're like, we're all going to cry together.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, no.
There was a lot of weird, it was very like off-putting. It's like, it's uneasy.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
That feeling.
That's a good word for it. It's uneasy. Yeah. It's an uneasy movie.
Oof. Okay. I think I really enjoyed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre growing up because it was so scary, just the idea of that. And then that's based on real stuff that happened. You're like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? You're like, what the fuck? But I like that. Hereditary. I'm trying to think. Of course, Freddy, Jason. I liked Michael Myers, the first Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis. I think.
Classic. She's in this new one, Halloween Kills.
Oh yeah, isn't she like? I think I saw a trailer where she's actually like, "No, I'm about to kill him."
Yeah, I mean that's what we keep saying. We've been saying that for 40 years, almost. No, more than 40 years. I think the first one came out in 1978.
Oh my god! And he's still just walking around here, just.
Yeah, and you know that mask that he's wearing? It's a William Shatner mask.
Oh yeah, they just like did something to it to tear it up and like make it old and stuff.
Yes,
that's so hilarious. I was gonna say something, or hold on, let me press stop real quick and we'll come right back. Hold on. All right, and we're back. So we were just talking about Halloween scary movies. I wanted to ask you, because this is going more towards the tail end of the podcast. What do you see? Like, this is actually a random question, and I kind of want to, with the way that social media is going, like, how do you feel about the state of social media right now? That sigh says it all. Lay sigh.
Yeah, I mean, even just energetically right now, I just feel like I need to take my energy back from somewhere. So I'm going to start with just being on social media for this like Mercury retrograde a little less, just because, you know, it's like we're always like pouring ourselves into it, even if we aren't consciously doing that. It's like we're energetically we're connected to it. And so it's becoming this fusion. So that's where I feel like it's going. It's like we're at this weird space where we can't live without it, but we have to learn to, because we've got to find some balance.
Exactly.
But it's difficult because just like with tarot or, you know, anything where you're producing something, you're creating something, like how are you supposed to get it out to people?
Yeah.
So we really are enmeshed. And so the only thing that I think is that we just have to create more balance, give ourselves more boundaries, but we can't not use it at this point.
You know, it's so funny that you say that, because I was actually telling P this yesterday. So I worked this little part-time gig, right? Just to make money, but it allows me to give me the freedom that I want to create still. And I remember I was talking to somebody, and when I go to work, I usually have these Bluetooth headphones on, and I'm listening to like a podcast or listening to music just to be focused and do what I need to do. And I remember somebody was like, they asked me, oh, do you like those headphones? I was like, yeah, I love them. I've had them for years. And then there's somebody else who I don't know and was like, hey, he says that these Bluetooth headphones give you cancer. Do you believe that?
Oh God.
And I was like, well, I think I believe it as much as, you know, cell phones give you cancer or whatever, you know. I'm pretty sure it's like a percentage, but it's a very small, like not significant percentage. And it's like, like you said, it's learning how to live with things like that. Because I mean, microwave sends off these radioactive waves towards you and stuff. And so it's like with social media, it's like it's kind of integrated now in our lives. And if you're in some sort of creative industry, you have to use it to keep pushing it. It's not like, I'm pretty sure you could try to do it without it, but it's going to be a lot harder for you and on you.
Right.
You know, to try to try to get your stuff out there.
Right.
And so I think it goes back to like what you're saying. It's more so kind of managing how much you use it, what you see and what you don't, or what you try to avoid that might affect you. Cause I think like I got to a point like that recently where I was like, man, I just don't feel good looking at this anymore. And I kind of was like, let me take a step back and not really be on here as much. So that way I can somewhat feel like I'm regaining control.
Yeah.
Cause most of the time, if you're on social media, it kind of feels like you're in a rat race. You're just like competing with everybody. And
yeah, I mean, I hear that, but I don't feel that way. I just feel more so like I just need my me time.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of how I feel about it.
Gotcha.
Because I think I already have boundaries up when it comes to social media, which is been very helpful for me. I only follow so many people, and the people that I do follow, of course, there's some people in there that I'm like roll eyes, but like for the most part, I'm only looking at the people stuff that I want to look at.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of nonsense because just like to your point, you get to curate your social media. So like, I don't see a lot of nonsense. I am very partisan. Like I want to see what I want to see. I don't need to see everyone's points of view.
Yeah.
I keep on Twitter is more like I see more points of views because that's Twitter, right? Yeah. But even then, it's like I'm not following people that just make me like
get upset,
right?
Yeah,
and because like I don't have time for that. So I think that like I don't see things that I don't want to see.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I only am aware of certain things because people having conversations about them. Like when people talk about like, you know, women and these like bodies and these BBLs and all that blah, 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 blah. I don't follow any women that look like that or are like that, you know, or care about that. I just hear people talking about that.
Gotcha.
So it's like, I'm not over here comparing, like, of course I'm a person. I compare my body to like awesome bodies because I'm a person, but it's not like I feel like I try my best to be conscious of those things and not like force myself to see things that would make me feel bad or like feel not good or whatever. Like, I don't know.
No, I get that. That makes sense. I definitely get that. And I mean, it's good to like have that, to figure out your balance, I guess. That's how it's put. Just because like, I know I've had to do that. Because like, especially like, I guess maybe different areas, like they have their own, like you got to find balance. Because like if you're in the music industry, you feel like you got to keep up or you got to,
right,
you know, depending what you're going after. But then really more so what it's interesting because like I've been learning lately to be like, well, I used to have like feelings of like I don't have enough time to do everything that I need to do, when in reality you do have a lot of time. You just have to like make the time and, you know, make a schedule or whatever, and then be like, I'm gonna do this for an hour, or I'm gonna do this for 30 minutes, blase. And then lately I've been like, oh, I do have a lot of time, or like to do everything I want to do. And even if I don't reach something on a day, I'll just like, we'll just do it tomorrow, you know?
Yeah.
And just stuff like that has been helping me. And then, just like being off social media has helped out a lot.
Right. Because that's time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I think that was where I am with like stepping back. It's not like, oh God, it's just like I was feeling a little overwhelmed because I've been so busy.
Gotcha.
And it's like, well, I'm going to remain busy. So where can I kind of like take some time back? Yeah. And I'm like, social media. Like if I'm not worried about that, then at least in those moments where I would be on Instagram, I can just be chilling. Like, you know what I mean? Like literally just having time for myself and thinking about whatever I want to think about and, you know, like just hanging, you know, just being. listening to music, reading books. Like I want to have the balance where social media is not my only source of entertainment.
Exactly.
Because literally that's what I'm using it for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so if I'm like, I want to feel like I'm putting my energy into other things that I enjoy, like reading, like music, and like podcasts, like other things that make me feel like Cidnee, like amping those up more.
Gotcha.
With my time. Because even so yesterday, I was like, okay, I'm going to like be mindful. And so instead of going to sleep and like being on Instagram, I read a book that I've been meaning to read for forever. So now I'm like, oh, okay, during this Mercury retrograde, maybe I can finish this book with the time that I would be scrolling or talking to people on Instagram.
I feel it. I dig it. I think that's like a good way to end the episode here. Thank you all for listening to Afternoon Programming. I got to look again. Episode 8, because I always forget all this.
My favorite number.
Oh, look at that. It was meant to be. Episode 8. Once again, thank you, Cidnee, so much. Can you tell everybody what you got going or like where they can find you, just so that way people can, if they want more information of you or want just to book you for a reading, tell them where to find that.
For sure. You can follow my personal page at Cidnee, CIDNEE _ rich. Under there, I do event production. I'm a artist manager. I am on Sanctuary, which is an app, a tarot app. And so, lots of different things there. And then for specifically for tarot readings for my company at arcana.atl, you can book there. You can follow my YouTube. You can join our Patreon and hang out with us for meditations weekly and monthly. Come and connect if you're into the vibes. And I would love if anyone knows anyone that has opportunities for readers to do cool things, just connect me because I love doing that.
Definitely reach out to her. She's an amazing person and she does amazing things and amazing work. Once again, if you're listening to us via Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, make sure you subscribe, rate, and review. It really helps us reach new listeners. Follow Afternoon Programming on Instagram at Afternoon Programming. And I will catch y'all on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.